Now, before we start, we need to establish some conventions about how we're going to talk about the individual pieces that have been collected in the course of the recovery project. Now, the building blocks or pieces we are working with are excerpts from the texts of later writers, and they are collected together into source books, such as our Pre-Socratics reader, which we'll be using in this course. Now, we call some of these excerpts fragments and others testimonia, and it's important to be able to tell the difference. The fragments are actual quotations from the lost works, while the testimonia are paraphrases or summaries of parts of the work or general reports or interpretations of the philosopher's view. So we want to reassemble the original works out of the fragments, but we rely on the testimonia for guidance when we're doing this. Now, in the standard scholarly compilation of the pre-Socratic fragments, edited by two German scholars, Distills and Krantz, in the last century, the testimonia are marked with the letter A, while the actual fragments or quotations are marked with the letter B. When scholars are discussing particular pre-Socratic fragments or testimonia, we refer to them by their DK numbers. That is, by the number assigned to them in the edition of Distills and Krantz. So we get D and K from Distills, Krantz. For example, when we talk about one of the most famous fragments of Heraclitus, which goes, "Listen not to me, but to the Logos, it is wise to agree that all things are one," we refer to it as Heraclitus B50. The B, we know, means that this is an actual quotation from Heraclitus, and the 50 indicates that it is the 50th in the order of fragments printed in Distills, Krantz. Now, not everyone agrees that the order of the fragments in Distills, Krantz is the right way to reconstruct the treatise in question, in this case Heraclitus, but we all use the DK numbers to refer to the fragments. Now, at the end of our text in our reader, we are given the important piece of information that this is a quotation that comes from Hippolytus in his book, The Refutation of All Heresies. Notice how many of our fragments of Heraclitus actually come from Hippolytus. Now, consider Thales. If you look at the texts on Thales in our reader and examine their DK numbers, you'll see that none of them are actual quotations. They all have an A in their DK numbers. You will also notice an additional number before the A. For example, the first text on Thales in our reader is 11A9. The 11 means that it's about Thales, who is in chapter 11 in Distills, Krantz. Each pre-Socratic philosopher has a separate chapter in Distills, Krantz, and this generates a unique identifying number for each philosopher, which typically is written before the A or the B in the DK number. Now, this initial number is often omitted in our reader and in other contexts in which it's clear which pre-Socratic philosopher we're actually talking about. Now, the main point to take away here is that the DK numbers are the standard way of referring to pre-Socratic fragments and testimonia. If you want to talk or write about a pre-Socratic text, you do it by citing its DK number. If you refer to Heraclitus B22, then everyone will know what text you are talking about. That's the convention we will follow in this course. So now we can get down to the business of studying those fragments and testimonia and trying to figure out what pre-Socratic philosophy is all about. In particular, we want to figure out what it is about these thinkers that made Aristotle call them those who first pursued philosophy. That's DK 11A12.